Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Walter again with our Machu Picchu picture. We have drawn everything together. We did a surrounding mountains over the plateau of Machu Picchu, and then we created this sort of map key. And now we're going to go ahead and use either some colored pencils, or you could use crayons, you could use markers, or straight watercolor. I'm going to use colored pencils. I'm also going to use watercolor for this. So I'm going to go a little bit on the quicker side and go ahead and color in majority of this. I'm not going to do the full thing because I do not want to waste too much of your art time, but you would use your coloring utensil, whatever you pick as your material, for the details, and then the paint would be a little bit easier to apply to the larger areas rather than trying to color in the whole thing, which you can do, or paint the whole thing, which again you can do. Keep in mind that sometimes that can be hard on the detailed areas. I am going to add some extra details by sort of figuring out different colors that I can add. I actually have this light green crayon, so I'm going to use that to make some detail on my field. Instead of having flat green everywhere, I did sort of a half and half strip. That gives the idea that maybe there's more crops and things like that going on. So again, you can definitely mix and match your materials. So you would color what you can, and then you would go ahead and paint in the rest, which is what I'm going to do. And we know it would go to paint. I'm going to pull this a little closer so you can see. We are going to go ahead and wake up our paints. So using my brush, like for my brown, if I'm doing the cliff areas, okay, could go ahead and wake up that brown first. Okay, you might have a light brown in every other area, skipping an area, and then I might go back and get a darker, a more rich color, more vivid color, to give variety and value, add some shading to it. So I have a lighter value in every other column on the cliff. Oh, that's kind of dark. That's okay. We know that if we add some water to it, we'll lighten it up a little bit. I'm actually going to use some of the paint that's on my brush, and then we know we can go back to it. So this one's a little bit on the dark side. So I'm going to add this one darker. There we go. I kind of like that better. Same thing, teensy bit of water. You can get as light or as dark as you want. And you don't have to do every other, just an idea. Okay. Adding some color in, and again, if we're using the paint, it goes a little bit faster. For my mountains, I'm going to go ahead and blend. I like to use some purple. I like to use the lid of my tray sometimes too, just to get an idea. That's our school bell, because I'm filming this at school. So I added my purple in there. However, I might add a little bit of blue to it. You could add some black if you want shadow that way. You can kind of just mix it up as you go. I like to use the purples for the mountains. And just be careful, just don't go too fast, because then it can run and you don't want to get that snow colored or your clouds. You have to be careful. Okay. So I'm going to add some blue on this one because it's closer to me, so I'm going to go with a lighter value. That's just me, that's what I'm doing. That does not mean you have to do that. And then when it gets a little bit darker, I'm going to go ahead and add some of that nice purple to give it a shadowed look. I also happen to just like the blend of the blue and the purple. Okay. And I'm going to do that. That's the snow cap on this one, so I'm going to leave that one. My next one back here, I'm going to actually add a teensy bit of black to it. not too much. And go ahead and grab some purple. So I've got this sort of shadowed dark purple going. Okay. And just take your time, have fun with it. So we're using paint if you choose, colored pencils. If you don't want paint, you can come up with some other things, maybe some markers, some crayons. If you have anything at home in your personal art kits that you want to use, you can do that. And get a little bit of that blue in there for this one. Ooh, that came out nice. And then where my map is, I'm going to go with the green. So I'm going a little fast. I need to take my time a little bit more. But I'm going to pause my video and I'll go back and continue painting it. But on here I would use my nice green. And again, I'm going to go up here to the lid and I'm going to mix yellow and green so that I can get a nice light color. That's for me. That's what I would choose to do. You do not have to do that. Okay, and we would paint this in. So I'll continue mine and you continue yours, and I can't wait to see how cute your ancient cities come out looking. They're going to be fabulous.